All right, all right. What's up, y'all? Y'all already know it's your girl Ash. Welcome to another episode of Black Girl Interrupted. Tonight, I can't never get my damn hands right whenever I have guests on the show. Tonight, I got my girl Nicole. Well, AG. I got her with me tonight. So y'all shout out to my girl. She is gonna share an amazing story with us tonight. But y'all already know before I even jump into tonight's conversation, y'all already know I gotta do my mental health check-in. So drop in the comments. Let me know how y'all feeling tonight. What's good? Today is Thursday, one day after Cinco de Mayo. Tell me what y'all did yesterday. What did y'all do yesterday for Cinco de Mayo? Drop in the comments. Holla at your girl tonight. So AG, welcome to Black Girl Interrupted, honey. How you feeling tonight?
I'm good.
You sure you good today?
Yeah.
How has your week been? Let me know how has your week been. That's what I want to know. How your week been going?
Busy. Cause we moving. So we've been packing and I've been deep cleaning, finally throwing away a lot of old stuff. I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Whew.
Bless you, girl. Don't worry
Thank
about it.
you.
Don't even
Yeah,
worry
but
about it.
that's it. Just packing.
So what you
That's it.
did yesterday for Cinco de Mayo, girl? What did you do?
Nothing. We nothing really. We same old, same old.
No tacos,
I
no
can't
barbecue.
really drink like that because I'm a diabetic and that spikes my sugar. So we
Absolutely.
can't.
Hey Yoshi, there goes my girl Yoshi. Hey sis. Tune in. Let me know how y'all feeling today. Y'all already know every episode. Y'all know I gotta do my mental health check-in. As y'all see, I am doing my smoothie, got my sea moss in it, y'all. I gotta get this health under control. Y'all know I don't smoke cigarettes no more. So, I done packed on some pounds. So my doctor was like, I'm gonna need you to go and get that blood pressure down. I'm gonna need you to get a little bit of that weight off. All of that. I love you too, sis. I miss you. I need to link up with you because I need you to do some things for me. I don't want to announce what I got going on in the works. I just want to pop out and do it. So, when you see me pop out with my husband and my $1 million and all of that, y'all just love on your girl.
Applaud it. Let's see it.
I'm telling you, that's all I'm doing. Just stay tuned for what I got coming up. Just stay tuned for that. So as y'all know, tonight I am talking about stillbirth. Y'all know that is absolutely a conversation that we don't discuss. Hey Brandon, Brandon, every time you pop up, you are let me before let me go and get you out the way, Brandon. Let me go on and post your favorite picture. Let me go and get you right. Brandon, you already know that's that if I be damn picture. You know that's that I be damn picture. That's Derek Chauvin. That is the police officer that was found guilty on all three counts when it came to the murder of George Floyd. And that just so happens to be Brandon's favorite picture that he loves for me to post. So that
Oh,
is that I be damn. That's that face where I be damn. They convicted me. They found me guilty on all three charges. So Brandon, I'll post it again for you at the end or IG. Girl, don't get me together over here.
Ajay.
IJ, girl, get me together, okay? You know us black folks, girl. We'll tell somebody's name. We will cut up somebody's name. Yes, sis, you already know that I'm gonna always continue to let God move me in the right direction. You know that. Even when nobody else is clapping for me, I celebrate my accomplishments by myself. So don't try to hop on with your girl when I make it to the top. Cause that's where I'm going. Cause God says, whatever I ask for, He is going to provide. So on that. Yes. I know, very sensitive. I know. Brandon, you already know. You are so welcome. Yoshi say that's the look when you know you done fucked up. Girl, Derek Chauvin didn't know what the hell to do. He was like, I know y'all didn't. I know your niggas did not find me guilty. But yes, we did, sir. We absolutely did. We found you guilty. And y'all do know his attorney is trying to file an appeal, excuse me, for a new trial because they say they don't feel like he got a fair trial because of the publicity surrounding the murder of George Floyd. But I think you're right where you need to be, sir. You can go to hell with the rest of the murderers. I don't care if you were a cop, you are still a murderer. You murdered someone. You nailed on someone's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. So I hope that haunts you for the rest of your life, sir. Um, on that note, anyway, y'all keep tapping in. Let me know. Mental health check-in, y'all. Y'all do know that May is mental health awareness, and I need to know how y'all are doing. You know, y'all already know if my DMs are open. Send your girl a message. Y'all already know. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Y'all let your girl know that it goes down on Black Girl Interrupted every Tuesday, every Thursday. So before I even jump in back into what I was saying, um, tonight we are talking about stillbirth. That is tonight's topic. As I stated on Tuesday night's episode, infant mortality is so high. We are 43 black women. We are 43% higher than white women when it comes to infant mortality. Shout out to the ladies that tuned in Tuesday night to share their stories. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much, and I do continue to pray for you regardless of how long it's been. But I still, I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you guys. So y'all keep tapping in. Y'all keep letting me know, like mental health check-in. How you feeling? What's been going on? What's been going on? So tonight's topic, again, as I stated, stillbirths. Why would you take my gift away? I think babies are the most incredible gift from God. Um, Y'all know, let me collectively get myself together because y'all already know I am the biggest crybaby in all of America. I think I cry at the drop of a hat. Girl, if I see a commercial, a Cheerios commercial, girl, I'm gonna start crying. But that just shows the compassion that I have in the conviction in what I do. Like I say, I don't do Black Girl Interrupted for monetary reasons or for clout. I do it because it has become my therapy session, therapeutic for me, and allows me to be vulnerable with no judgment. And y'all know I don't care if you judge me, but y'all judge Jesus, so whatever. But anyway, so at IG, did I say it right this time? Aj,
Just call me what you know me by.
why I
That's
just can't call you Nicole? That's all I,
yes, yes, that's fine.
girl. Cause even and it's so crazy.
I don't
Even
know
when I
why I didn't put that on there because I knew you was gonna mess it up.
I know it. Even, but you know what? I even when I first met you, girl, I was like,
Yeah,
say her name right? I was like, man, I'm just gonna call her Nicole. I was like, it's just so easy for me to say, but I love your name. I love
yeah.
the way it's spelled. It's so different. I love it though. So, but y'all keep dropping in the comments. Let me know how y'all feeling today. Y'all know. So Angie, if
Is there a way I could change it?
you want me to change it, let me change it. Let me edit it for you. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me. Oh my goodness. Nico.
LLE.
There we go.
There we go.
Now, girl, because I'm gonna chop up the name the whole episode, girl. You're gonna be mad at me talking about what?
No.
So yeah. So there we go. Uh-oh. All right. Now I got all that together. I had to get my whole life situated over here. All right. So back to what I was saying. So tonight we are talking about stillbirths and why would you take my gift away? We're gonna, tap in and figure out, what is a stillbirth? What's the difference between a stillbirth and a miscarriage? What causes a baby to be stillborn? How do you know you're having a stillborn baby? What are their signs? Are there ways to reduce it? And then how do you recover after a stillborn? So before I even get started, y'all already know I already come with my informative videos because I know people are like, So hold tight. Here we go as we jump in. Let me move this banner out of the way. So here we go as we tap into tonight's topic.
As we dive into this topic of bias, we wanted to look at bias within healthcare. We found a startling statistic, too. Black women are 2 to 3 times more likely to die during childbirth than white women. Looking at the numbers here locally in Kansas, of those women who die due to pregnancy-related causes, 70 per 100,000 are black. Compare that to white women, who account for 22 per 100,000. In Missouri, the numbers are even higher. 92 for every 100,000 deaths involve black women versus 22 for white women. The increased rate is similar for infant mortality. Black babies, 2 to 3 times more likely to die at birth. While there are a number of factors that play into these statistics, some experts and advocates point to bias in healthcare as being a contributing one. And it's not just African Americans. Latina and Indigenous women are disproportionately affected too. 41 Action News anchor Caitlin Canute has stories from 2 women who say bias left their lives forever changed.
Although it's been 8 years, Sapphire Garcia-Lease can still remember the excitement surrounding the birth of her second daughter, Ella.
Everything had gone perfectly fine with my pregnancy. And then I got to 38 and a half weeks, and I noticed that she wasn't moving as much.
Garcia-Lease says she visited her doctor and shared her concerns, but was told that was normal. So, despite a nagging suspicion, she returned home, only to seek out a second opinion at the hospital 2 days later.
They did a sonogram, and they couldn't find a heartbeat. She had passed away in utero. And it turns out that she had her cord wrapped several times around her neck, and her blood supply had cut off.
Heartbroken and devastated, she delivered Ella, knowing there would be no first breath, no first cry. Holding her stillborn daughter, she says she couldn't help but wonder if her race prompted the doctor to disregard her concerns.
And if they had caught that in time when she was still moving some, then I think that she probably could have been saved.
Research shows women of color are more likely to experience bias in healthcare. Some experts say this dates back to the 1800s when James Sims, often referred to as the father of OBGYN, performed experimental surgeries on enslaved women without anesthesia.
So historically, what that has done is that has created a bias that black women can take more pain, that they're stronger.
As an assistant professor with the University of Kansas School of Medicine, Dr. Charla Smith presents this very topic to local medical providers.
So there's an assumption that if you're black, that you're from a particular community, you're uneducated, you don't have health insurance, you don't have a good job, and so you don't have the knowledge to actually know how to take care of yourself.
For Kansas City mom Izula Maximilian, she's convinced this bias prevented hospital staff from taking her seriously when she went to the emergency room, suspecting her intense pain was the result of another ectopic pregnancy.
When I spoke to the admissions officer, I told him that I was pregnant, that I've had ectopic pregnancies in the past, and that I'm having one right now. And he told me to go wait and sit down.
According to the Mayo Clinic, ectopic pregnancies, where a fertilized egg implants in the fallopian tube, can cause life-threatening bleeding. But Maximilian says that day, besides giving her a drug test, no diagnostic tests were done for 4 to 5 hours as she floated in and out of consciousness until finally blood work came back showing she had sepsis.
And that now they wanted to do an ultrasound and figure out what was going on. And when they did the ultrasound, they were able to confirm that there was a burst in my fallopian tube.
She'd lost half her blood supply due to internal bleeding and was rushed into surgery, but not before she first said goodbye to her young son.
I do remember him, saying that he loved me and me telling him that I loved him and being concerned it was going to be the last time that I saw him.
After the surgery, she recalls opening her eyes with a sense of purpose, vowing to share her story so no other woman of color experiences the trauma she endured. These are just some of the stories being shared with doctors here in Missouri and Kansas, and they've caught the attention of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, or ACOG.
So what I would say to these folks who are sharing their stories, is that I believe you, and that ACOG believes that this is a problem within our own practice and the larger system of healthcare and wellness.
Dr. Colleen McNicholas adds while education and accountability are a necessary step, there's more that needs to be done on a broader level.
Simple things, expanding Medicaid, having access to preventative care, looking at what access in rural communities, for example, looks like.
That's where the Uzazi Village, a nonprofit in Kansas City, helps fill the gaps.
What we're trying to do is reverse those health outcome trends and help our community families have healthier pregnancies and healthier babies.
Uzazi Village works directly with women and families, offering them prenatal and postpartum education, resources, and support, including providing expectant moms with doulas.
A doula is a professional labor support person, so a professional labor coach, except that our doulas are also trained to work with women during pregnancy and in their postpartum periods.
For Garcia Lease, it's a service she knows well. She became a doula in Wichita after losing Ella. Also, she could better advocate for women of color and their babies.
I've seen clear-cut cases where the work I do as a doula has paid off with a better outcome for the mom or the baby.
It's a fight to help others that keeps her motivated and helps keep Ella's memory alive. Caitlin Canute, 41 Action News.
Oh. What do you think about that, sis? When I watched that video initially, I was like, damn. Are we really? Like, why do they do us like that? Why do we have limited resources to healthcare when we're pregnant? Why do we go in and when you tell them, hey, I've been having a pain, I've been this, that, and they say, oh, it's just natural, it's just your uterus opening up, or those are Braxton Hicks contractions, and they don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
That again, that goes, like I say, why would you take my gift away? So as we roll into tonight's topic, like I said, I brought Nicole on tonight. I've been knowing Nicole for quite some time, for quite a few years. And I've just really seen her flourish. I've seen her grow. I've seen her overcome a lot of obstacles. So I wanted to bring her on tonight to share her story in regards to stillbirths. So before I even let her tell her story, let's first answer the $1 million question. A stillbirth, what is it?
You want me to answer it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's basically where you deliver a baby that's not alive. There's no resuscitation. There's none of that. It's just a lifeless baby.
Whew. I just salute you for your strength and you being able to do that. I know there's no timeline on grief. So one of the things I want you to know is, do not ever let anyone tell you that it's been XYZ amount of years, you need to get over it, because you carried a baby full term. You felt this child move. You heard this baby's heartbeat. I mean, you had little J, like, and for him to just let me just collectively get it together before you tell your story. Let me just all right. I got my Kleenex. I got my Kleenex, so I'm I'm ready. You know, um, my sis Angela says, "Hug, sweet mama." She say, "With much love, a mama of a stillborn baby boy." So you're not alone in this. You're not the first.
Not the last.
You're not the first mother, and you're absolutely not the last. This happens so often, so common. All right, y'all.
I'm trying to hold myself together.
I know
I
because
know, I know.
when I saw when you first announced that you were pregnant, oh my God, I was so excited for you.
You was the first one to congratulate me, anything. And it's crazy because when we did the whole procedure, I didn't think nothing of it. I did it and was just like, oh, well, I mean, it is what it is, you
Right,
know?
right.
And so for both of us I was happy, but, Rissy was more like emotional, kind of like shocked or whatever. But I was happy about it because I had at the time that it happened, I had got tired. You know how you build relationships with people, kids, and
Right.
stuff like that, and they do little evil stuff like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep my baby from seeing you, and you
Mhm.
can't see my baby no more." And I just got tired of that, so I was just like, maybe it's just time for me to have my own.
Mm.
And so when it came back, that I was actually pregnant, I was just like, "It's my time now."
And
And
you you
then
you would have been a wonderful mom. I mean, like I say, I have seen you grow. You have come a long way
long.
from. So to give y'all a backstory on me and Nicole. So me and Nicole met in Fort Bend County Jail. And it was something about her energy, something about my energy, and we just vibed. So I got out before she did. She really kept me encouraged and uplifted. Um, and even her girlfriend, we just all kind of just hung together. And so when I got out, um, she was like, "Well, what's your address? I'm gonna write you a letter." And when people tell you stories like that, you just like, okay, yeah, whatever. And I got a letter, and I still have that letter that she wrote me. And to this day, we are still. Oh my God, how long has it been?
That was like in 2012.
Yeah, so like 8 years, 9 years, 8, 9 years.
Yeah,
So I've seen her grow. I remember she was baby that was about it. She was ready, box
I
anybody.
had.
Baby, that temple was 0 to 1,000. That's why we was both in jail because of these temples, these mouths. But she's really calmed down a whole lot. She's grown. She's matured. She's become a woman. She was already a woman, but now she's a woman. And so when she told me she was pregnant, I was like, oh my God. I knew you were gonna be a wonderful mom. I knew this. I knew it. And so I watched her journey. I watched her as she went on. And the day she delivered, I was just I fell back from her because I really didn't know what to say. What do you say
And a
to a
lot of people did. A lot of people did.
right? It was like, what do I say? What do you have troubles trying to put your words together because you don't want to come across um callous or cold hearted or not sympathetic. So it was a lot. It was a lot. And so I watched her as she buried her baby. I saw the pictures that she posted, and I just still didn't know what to say. But It's about you. So again, y'all, tonight we are talking about stillbirths and what is it. So Nicole is whenever you're ready. And I wore yellow tonight. Y'all know I've worn the blue, and I had the blue and pink lipstick. Um, but I wore yellow tonight because it's a gender neutral color, and I wanted to know that babies are absolutely sunshine. They are the gift. Yellow is bright, it's bold, so that's why I put on yellow for tonight. So I'm no longer going to speak. This is Nicole's show tonight. So Nicole, whenever you're ready, it's on you.
Okay. So I guess I'll start like with the whole process. Um, my baby was conceived through at-home insemination. Like I said, when we did the whole process, I didn't think nothing of it. I wasn't expecting it to go through. It was just something we did. Um, so for me to find out, we was at home, and that morning I woke up and I was just like, I'm supposed to start my cycle today. I haven't started my cycle. Steady running, trying to catch it. And I knew the next day I had a doctor's appointment, and my appointment was for me to get my third dose of the HPV shot. So I just waited, and I was just like, maybe my cycle gonna start late or something like that. Me not thinking the whole time, oh, I could be pregnant or anything. In my head, I'm steady saying like it's too early to test and stuff like that. So I was just like, I'll just wait till my appointment. So me and my girlfriend went to the doctor, and she was in the waiting area and I was in the room. And when you get your go to get your shot, you have to do a urine sample. So I was sitting in the room and I texted her and I was like, dang, she's taking a long time to come back in here. Normally it's just like 5 minutes afterwards or whatever. So when the nurse came in, she was like, well, Miss Wilkerson, you can't get the your last dose today. So I was like, why? And she was like, oh, I bought the urine back and I bought you a test. So I was like, a test for what? And she was like, I'm gonna let you do the pregnancy test by yourself. So I was like, okay. So she gave me the urine and I stuck the stick inside the cup. And when I say both of the lines were like really pink, they were like pink. So I put the cup down and I ran out the room and I went into the waiting room. And so my girlfriend was like, what happened? Like, what you running from? And I was like, you won't believe what I just saw. And so the nurse came back and she was like, well, let's just finish the paperwork and then we'll set your first appointment and stuff like that. So I did all the paperwork and I made my first appointment and we left. So when we left, we went to, I don't know if you know, it's a place called Kim's Tea House. And we went there and we were sitting at the table and we sat across from each other so that I could see her face or whatever. So I was like, what's wrong? And she had her hands like covering her face, like where I couldn't see it, but you could see like the little tears
coming down.
I'm like, what's wrong? And she was like, oh, I'm really just happy. Like we finally about to have our own kid and I don't have to worry about it being attached to nobody else's baby. And going through the whole separation of them and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, like I'm really happy. So after that, we was just like, well, we'll wait a while before we finally announce it or whatever. So after I waited, my first appointment, I found out I was 4 weeks and 2 days. And yeah. So the whole time I'm thinking it's too early to test. I could have been found out.
You were already 32 days, girl. Oh my God.
And so every morning, for some reason, I was getting up every morning, like at 7:00, and I was taking a new test every morning just to see the lines, like to see if they were still gonna be bright pink or whatever. And they were coming up like I went to the night before I started taking the test. We went to Family Dollar, we went to Walmart, we went to CVS. We bought 3 different brand tests. We bought the First Response, Clear Blue, and just a regular little cheap test just to make sure. And all of them, the digital ones came up pregnant. The ones with the lines had the 2 pink lines. And we was just like, it's real at this point. Like, it's real. So then, they schedule every 4 weeks. So then 4 weeks went by and I went to the first appointment and I heard this baby's heartbeat. And I just knew. I was just like, ain't no turning back at this point. Like, this is what we want. Yeah. So then I text my cousin, like, this is like my favorite cousin. So I text her and I was like, I'm pregnant. But I didn't want nobody to know. So I was just like, don't tell nobody. Well, her having a sister, she told her sister. And at the time, their mama was really sick. Like, she was really, really, really sick in the hospital. And basically, they just had it in their minds like their mama wasn't going to make it. And it was a very hard time, like a sad time for my family. My grandma was very sad. She was just like stressed about her sister and stuff like that. So my auntie had lung cancer, really, really bad. Like, it was to the extreme, like stage 4, to the point where she was going to pass any day. And when I walked in that room after my appointment to see her, like, raise up out the bed in her face, it was just like she knew I had some good news or, something, to uplift her spirits while she was in the hospital. And that whole day, my grandma said that she was just laying there. Like, she wouldn't talk to nobody. She wouldn't interact with nobody. She was just like giving up. And when I walked in there, my grandma had walked out and I had whispered to her and I told her, I was like, I'm pregnant. And she was like, I'm not going to say nothing. And do you know, till this day, my auntie passed away and did not say anything. Like, she took that to her grave with her about me being pregnant.
But they say when a person is leaving, another life is coming.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And I thought about that and I was just like, she went to her grave and when she said she wasn't telling nobody, she was not telling anybody. She didn't tell nobody. And as time went on, I started to show more and more. My grandma was just like, oh, you gained a lot of weight. But I never said nothing. And one day, this crazy because we was just talking about this last night. She was sitting on the phone with her friend. And they was talking about her friend granddaughter pregnant. Mind you, I had been taking all them tests, but I was saving them. So while I was listening to their conversation, I went and got the Ziploc bag with the test in it. And I said, well, here, I got to show you something. And she was just like, girl, go play that prank on somebody else. And I was like, I'm not lying. Like, this is not a joke. And 2 days later, I had another appointment. That appointment, I got an actual picture, like an ultrasound. So I went home and I took it to her. And she was like, I'm about to have another great grandbaby. And I was just like, I told you I wasn't lying. And from that point on, like, I didn't have to do nothing. Like, she just wanted me to sit down and just rest and don't do too much and make sure you do this and all the middle of the night cravings. Rissy didn't have to do nothing. It was, I got it. I'm gonna go get it. You can sleep with me. I want you to sleep with, and I'm like, I'm 23. Like, what do I need to sleep with you for? I need to know y'all okay. And I just want to make sure you comfortable. And I'm just like, I appreciate it, but no. But I did after a while. My auntie ended up passing while I was pregnant, and I took it really hard because I felt like I was there majority of the time. My cousins, they didn't know how to really be there for their mama, and she got to the point where she couldn't talk. And so they didn't understand her, and it was frustrating to them, and it was frustrating to her. But I'm really good at reading lips. I can read, baby. And I was able to be there for her a lot, even though they kept telling me because I'm pregnant, I wasn't really supposed to be in the room and stuff like that. I just felt like I just can't, like, I can't leave like this, and I don't want her to, leave uncomfortable. So we kind of, I want to say not built the bond because we were already close, but it got like tighter, So after her, her passing and stuff, we thought, like I had to kind of like try to get my mind off of it because of they didn't want me to put a lot of stress on the baby and stuff like
Right.
that. So I did kind of cling to my grandma and I did sleep with her and stuff like that. But after a while, she was just like, your belly done got too big. And I feel your baby kicking me in the back. It's just, you gotta go now. So I'm like, okay. But through all my doctor's visits and stuff, it was basically everything went smooth. All the tests came back good. We did the genetics testing, all that, everything. Like they really didn't see no signs with nothing. I took my glucose test at 12 weeks, and then I took it again at 24 weeks.
Yeah, because you're a diabetic,
Yeah.
so you had to do yours twice. Okay.
Uh-huh. But while I was pregnant and before I got pregnant, it was nothing. Like I never when I tested, when they would do the test for me at the doctor's, nothing came back. Everything was good. And that's what I was going to say. When I took my glucose test, nothing came back that I was a diabetic. So they treated me like, I was a regular patient. I wasn't high risk during my pregnancy, none of that. And the only thing was I noticed that every time I would go for my 4 week appointments, the nurse would always be like, you getting too big too fast.
Mm.
And by the time I hit 30 weeks, I was already complaining about my pelvis hurting. It was hard for me to walk. My feet have swelled so big that I couldn't even wear shoes anymore.
Wow.
Like I had to literally go to my appointments in socks because I couldn't wear no shoes.
That's gestational diabetes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
And that's And so at 30 weeks they started me to do NST testing. Basically, it's basically to check like your fluid buildup, to make sure your baby is active over a 5-minute period. And like they make you drink like something cold or something to make your baby move and stuff like that. If not, then that's a sign to where you need to be monitored or either put on bed rest.
Right.
And by my BMI being high, they started doing the NST testing it was at 30 weeks. So I was already kind of like on okay, I need to be more careful. I started walking early and stuff like that. I tried to be more active, so that it wouldn't increase over the times. But like the nurse kept saying, like 4 weeks, your baby is getting too big. When I was 32 weeks, he was already like 5 pounds. And the doctor had already told me, she was just like, if I let you go 40 weeks, you liable to have a 10-pound baby.
If not bigger than that.
Yeah. So by me complaining to her, telling her, it's hard for me to walk, it hurts, like in my hips and stuff was hurting, he had dropped. So that was even more pain on me. It was just like, I can't go no further. And she was like, well, if you could go past 35 weeks, then we'll schedule you to induce. That's the way it all turned around at. So I made it to the 35 weeks. I made it to 36 weeks. During that time period, I noticed so he would really be active when I would drive. Like if I'm driving, he's really active. If I'm just sitting, he's really active. Watching TV, he's active. If I lay down, he shifts to one side and he move.
And sit on girl. Ooh, don't I know that?
And the bed was very uncomfortable. The only way I could sleep at night was on the floor. If I slept on the floor, I was comfortable. But the bed, I couldn't deal with the pains, none of that. On January 28th. No, I'm sorry. January 26th, which was a Friday. I went to the doctor. I started having my appointments weekly by then. So I went to the doctor, and while I was sitting there, they did my NST test first. So she put the monitors on me. She monitored his heartbeat and his movement, his activity or whatever over a 5-minute period. So she sat me there. I drank orange juice, and I had some graham crackers because they have a little snack table right there, So I'm sitting there. I got the monitors hooked up. He moving. But in the midst of all of that, I was having contractions. They wasn't Braxton Hicks, they were contractions. I didn't feel them, and I didn't feel uncomfortable either. But they were on the monitor, and they were coming every 5 minutes. When the nurse came in, she was like, "You don't feel that you having contractions?" I was like, "No, I just thought maybe he had tightened up, whatever, maybe balled up in one spot."
Right.
Mind you, this is my first time experiencing it, so I don't know what a contraction feel like. I don't know what to look forward to. They tell you in the beginning, oh, this is what a contraction feel like. And you hear people's stories, oh, them contractions feel like period cramps and they this and they that. But I don't know what to look for. Like, I don't know as far as my body, what am I supposed to be going through?
Right.
So she was like, well, every time you feel your stomach tighten up and then loosen, then that's a contraction. I sat there, she stood there, and she watched it. A whole nother one came. Then they started becoming back to back. But she's like, you're not in no pain. I was like, no. She was like, well, we'll just monitor you for 30 more minutes. And then if they still are constant, then I'll let the doctor know. So I said, okay. Well, I sat there. The doctor came in. She was like, I just want to check your cervix. I got my cervix checked. I was 2.5 centimeters dilated. And she said that she noticed on the little paper that prints out.
Right.
Every time I was having a contraction, his heart rate would drop.
Yeah.
And when the contraction was over, it'll go back up.
Yeah.
So she said, well, we'll just go ahead and deliver today. I was just like, okay. So I was already 35 weeks. Yeah, I was 35 weeks. Yeah. And she was just like, yeah, we could deliver today. If not, once you get to the hospital and the contraction stopped and they're not every 5 minutes, then we'll just wait until Monday
to induce you.
Yeah. And so she called the hospital and she talked to them in labor and delivery, and she told the what I want to say, the front desk, the people at the front desk at check-in, she was like, Wilkerson's coming. Y'all go ahead and prep her for delivery. And she was just like, I'll be there tonight, but I won't be there now. She was like, but just make sure y'all go ahead and prep her for delivery. She turned to me and she said, go there now. She told the lady on the phone, she was like, she's on her way. I called, who did I call first? Oh, I called Rissy first, and I told her, I was like, well, the doctor sending me to the hospital. I think I'm going to deliver either today or tomorrow. And so she was like, well, I'll just meet you up there. I called my grandma, and I told her, I was like, well, the doctor told me to just go on straight to the hospital, not to make no stops, just go straight there.
Right.
So I did just that. I got there. They put you in triage first.
Mm-hmm.
So that you had to be monitored and all that. So whatever. So Rissy was already upstairs on the 3rd floor. And when I walked in, the lady was like, oh yeah, the doctor called, so we waiting on you. So I'm thinking, okay, like shit finna get real. Like it's time.
Yeah, the baby's coming today.
Yeah.
Like he's
so I'm like,
on the way.
Yeah, so I'm panicking or whatever, and she was like, "You gotta relax. Like you have to relax." I'm just like, I got everything, but I don't have a car seat. I don't have a stroller. And Rissa was just like, "We could get that afterwards. Like just chill. Like just
I'm gonna
chill.
need you to relax. I need you to take the stress off because."
You should have seen me. I'm like, oh, I gotta call so and so and see if they can go get this. I need them to go get this. And they was just like, I can leave. Just chill. My grandma, just relax. If I need to bring this, I'll bring it. You just need to relax. I'm like, okay, Let me just lay here. Finally, I was just like, let me just go to sleep. So in the midst of me going to sleep, they woke me up. And when she came and woke me up, she started an IV. She said that I was dehydrated. Mind you, while I was laying there and she started the IV, she was like, after you finish the bag of fluids, then we'll determine, what'll happen next. Mind you, I'm still laying there and I'm still having contractions. They wasn't every 5 minutes, but they were still coming. But it was
Right.
more like over like a 20 to 30 minute period. So I was just like, okay. So I went back to sleep. I woke up. My whole right arm was just ice cold. Ice cold, like it had been stuck up in a freezer. So I'm just like, my arm, like I told him, like my arm is like freezing cold. And she's like, oh, that's just the fluids. And I was like, I never heard of that. And she was like, oh, well, baby looks good. And you were just dehydrated. You finished the fluids. You're good to go. She was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to get the discharge papers. And yeah, you're good to go.
So let
So,
me ask you this before you finish the rest of your story.
uh-huh.
Had your water broke?
No.
Okay.
My mucus plug hadn't even came out.
So I mean, I know when I was pregnant with my son. No, was that my daughter? My son. I was dehydrated, so I was having contractions like that, and then they went to every 20, 30 minutes and they sent me home. So,
Uh-huh.
and that was on New Year's, and 20 days later I ended up having my son, but
Yeah.
they had to take him. But go ahead on. I'm sorry. I wanted to know, had your water broke, had your mucus
Uh-uh.
plug come out?
None of that. Everything was still intact.
Wow.
And so when she said that we could go home, we was both looking confused. Like the doctor called, I watched her call, I heard the conversation. I'm supposed to be getting prepared for a room. Like this is why I'm staying. Like my mama said, it was a Friday.
Right.
First of all, who wants to be dealing with a baby on a
Delivering
Friday?
a baby on a Friday night, or possibly
Yeah.
1,
So
2,
my whole
3 o'clock
thing
in the
was,
morning on a Saturday.
uh-huh. My whole thing was I felt like she was just trying to get me out of there so that she could leave because it was already like at 5 o'clock that I had been there. She was trying to leave, or either she just didn't want to deal with me.
Right.
But we both argued with her, like, no. And I told her, I'm not going nowhere. The doctor said for me to stay here. I'm supposed to be prepped for delivery. This is what I'm saying. Do you know this lady went and called the security of the hospital and told the security that she got my discharge papers and she was trying to give me the papers for me to leave, and I was refusing to leave. So I explained to the man what happened, and I told him, I said, my doctor called and said that I was supposed to be getting prepped for delivery.
Right.
He was like, well, if they checked everything and everything looks good, then I said, no matter what look good, you basically going against my doctor orders.
Right.
So Rissy was like, at this point, let's just go back to the doctor's office. I walked back in the doctor's office. The receptionist there was like, what you doing up walking? You're not even supposed to be up walking. You're supposed to be getting ready to have a baby. I said, well, here go my discharge papers, and they sent me home. She was just like, no, like you could tell in her face, like she knew, like anything bad can happen that's gonna fall back on the doctor's office
Right.
and the people at the hospital. Because the doctor specifically said for me to go and be prepped for delivery. So she's like, well, let me try to call a doctor and see what she wants you to do. So she called her and she talked to me on the phone. She was like, how do you feel? I was like, I feel fine. I'm not in no pain. I'm okay. He's still moving. I feel him moving. What do you want me to do? She was like, well, if they discharge you, do you think you can hold off until Monday, and we'll definitely induce you? After your appointment, we will definitely induce you. So I was like, okay, cool. Monday was the 29th, which is my birthday. So I was just like, okay, that's fine. It's cool. I'm just gonna go home and just lay down. So that whole night, Rissy stayed up the whole night. And she was like, you
Worrying.
okay? How you feel? Do you feel him moving? Is he moving? Yeah, he's fine. I feel him. You can feel him here. Rub my stomach, whatever. We just trying to make sure everything's still normal.
Right.
We got woke up in the middle of the night. My grandma had to go to the hospital. She went to the same hospital. They treated her like shit. She had an IV in her arm that exploded. They left it bloody. Uh, it was just a lot of neglect going on at that hospital. And it was, like I said, it was the same one that I was supposed to be delivering at. So I'm thinking, like, I don't want to deliver here. Like, I'm afraid. Like, I don't want to do this. No. The next day, I went home. That morning, it was like 6 o'clock, and I turned around. I took a shower, and I went back up there. My grandma was, like I said, she was in the same hospital, but on the 5th floor. So when her nurse came in, the nurse seen me laying on the little couch, and she was like, you look like you in a lot of pain. I was like, no, I'm just tired. I'm supposed to be getting induced Monday. I'm trying to wait it out.
Right.
And she was like, where do you go to the doctor at? And I told her, and she was like, oh, they deliver here. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she was like, well, maybe let me see if you could have your appointment here. Just go downstairs for your appointment. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I really don't even feel like leaving at this point anyway.
Right.
So she went and she called somebody. I don't remember who she called, but they was just like, oh no, because she has NST testing before her appointment, she have to go to the office. So I was like, okay. That was the morning of my birthday.
Where I'm lost at is, why are they sending you on this wild goose chase? Here, you can't do
Back
nothing
and
here. We got to
forth.
send you to the doctor. Because at the hospital, you would think that they could do the NST test.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I'm thinking. But I'm not a doctor.
We was confused too. And we were totally confused. And my grandma said the same thing. If her doctor's office deliver here, y'all have access to the files.
Right.
Everything that's in her file at the doctor's office, y'all have it here.
Right.
So whatever needs to be reported, it can be reported here and y'all can send it back
electronically. And that's typically what they do. That's what they're supposed to do, is they communicate electronically. Like they electronically transmit your files over there, or whatever it is that they need to do. So they know when you come in, they know who to look for, and say, okay, yeah, Nicole is coming in on this day at this time. She'll come to floor 3 or whatever floor you deliver on. So they already know the doctor's orders to go ahead and get you prepped, take your vitals, do your lab work and stuff like that, and get you set up, get you put on the monitors. Okay. Go ahead and finish, because I got a lot of questions.
And so that like I said, that morning, it was the morning for me to schedule for my induction. It was my birthday. I had canceled everything. That day was supposed to be my maternity day shoot. We were supposed to have a little dinner party, / a little baby shower. I canceled everything.
Right.
So, and I was just like, the people who I booked with, they was like, oh, well, we'll just refund you the money back because, it's not your fault, So, she was
time, not to interrupt you again, but in this time, are you still feeling the baby move?
That's what I'm going to tell you. The whole ride home, super active, to the point where I feel like he was supposed to come out while I'm driving. Super active.
Tell her, no, we need you to stay in there, not while I'm on the interstate, baby. I need you to roll out.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm finna go home, take a shower, give me some orange juice, because I know I need orange juice for my test. Give me some orange juice and go straight to the doctor. The doctor was like 5 minutes from the house. So I was like, between time, please still be active. I got there, I checked in, I sat in the waiting room for like 20 minutes. And I'm sitting up, basically, just playing with my stomach, like, wake up now, don't go to sleep now. And she called my name. So she was like, yeah, you ready? Today gonna be the day. We'll give you a induction time. And she was basically telling me everything. Don't eat after this time. And make sure you do this and make sure that. I'm like, okay. So I went back there. She was like, we're gonna do your NST first and then we'll do a last ultrasound. So I'm like, okay, this is it. I get back there First, she put the contraction monitor on.
The
Then,
little pink and blue stretchy thing with the big old
yeah,
yes, girl.
yeah, she put the contraction monitor on, and then she went to look for his heartbeat. While I'm sitting up. So she was just like, he's supposed to be at the bottom. So let me see if I can find him at the bottom. So she reclined the chair. So I laid back. She was still moving the monitor across. She's like, well, let me call another nurse to come help me. She was like, maybe he got his back turned, and I can't find it. So I was like,
Right.
okay. So another nurse come in and she was like, turn to the side for me. So I turned to my side. I turned to the left, turned to the right. They were still moving with the monitor. Still moving. So I'm like, okay, let me just prepare myself for whatever. Then another nurse coming in. And she was like, well, last time I found it around your navel. So maybe he right there. So she put it by my navel, still nothing. So all three of them nurses left out. I was just sitting in a chair like, okay.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah. So then in like the way they had the doctor's office set, it was just like one chair here with the monitor, another chair. Way in the back is like a stretcher with an ultrasound monitor. So the doctor came in and she was like, let me get you to go lay on the stretcher and we'll do an ultrasound. So I was like, okay. So when I laid down and I lift my shirt up, she turned the screen away from me. So I'm like, okay. Any other time, I'm able to see what y'all see.
Right.
So I laid there and I closed my eyes. And while she had the monitor on me and she was looking at the screen, she was standing there like this. So I was like, what happened? She didn't say nothing. She was like, let me help you up. So she helped me up. And she was like, can you go in the other ultrasound room? So I'm like, okay. So she's like, when you go in that room, I need you to take your bottoms down. So I was like, okay. I had dilated 2 more centimeters. I was 4 centimeters. Still no water break. Still no mucus plug.
So the coochie just opened. You just walking around and coochie just 4 centimeters. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Woo.
So you know how they had the big screen in front of you. She cut it
Right.
off. And she turned the monitor again where I couldn't see it. And then she took a deep breath and she was like, when you pull your bottoms up, can you meet me across the hall? Mind you, I've been going to this doctor since I was 17. Me and this doctor have a we here kind of relationship.
Right.
This doctor can tell you everything about me with her eyes closed.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay. Like if it was anything you would have told I figured she would have told me from the jump. I'm at this doctor's appointment by myself. I told Risa, I'm just like, you could go to work. Just when you finish, you get off, just come to the hospital because that's where I'm gonna be.
Right.
My grandma was like, well, I'm gonna make you a meal and all this. So everybody's doing stuff to kind of prep because they all expecting like, okay, she get induced tonight. She gonna be at the hospital. We gonna be up there. So let's just get prepared.
Right. Because we gonna have this baby tomorrow or tonight. He coming tonight or tomorrow. Either way it goes.
Everybody had it said. My cousin them text, let us know when the baby get here. We coming up there. And I'm just like, okay, all right. So when she told me to pull my pants up and meet her across the hall, I walked out the room. And you know how by the door have the little squares, right. And it says consultation. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go over here and schedule what time I need to be at the hospital, sign some papers, and this is gonna be it.
Right.
I opened the door. The nurse that told me I was pregnant, that confirmed my pregnancy, was sitting in there, and she had a box of Kleenex, and she was crying. So I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" It didn't click yet. So I'm trying to figure out what you crying for. She was like, just have a seat right here. So I was like, no. I stood up and I was like, no, I
Right.
don't want to sit down.
Yeah, let me go stand up because I what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
hello, like talk to me. Cause see
It
now
was,
in this point, you're scared, you're nervous, you don't know what the hell is going on. This
I
is your
started like
first
my
baby.
hands was shaking. They were sweaty.
Right.
So she was like, I need you to just have a seat right here. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I just want to stand up right here. I'm okay. So the doctor came in and she closed the door and she was just like, this is hard. And I was like, can y'all let me out of here? Like, please just let me out of here. Like, I
Now
don't
my
want to be in here.
anxiety is at 1,000 because
Yeah,
now
just let me out of here. And she was like, no, Miss Wilkinson, you have to stay here. You have to listen to this. And I closed my eyes and I was just like, just going on and tell me. Just tell me. And she was like, we couldn't find a heartbeat. And I went black and hit the floor. When I got up, I had a knot sticking out my forehead about this big. And at that point, I'm asking her, like, what happened? Like, how? Like, how do I go full term and get to the end and he don't have a heartbeat? Like, what happened? And she just grabbed me and she just hugged me like really, really tight. And I was just like, somebody got to know something at this point. Like, how do I just walk out of here without a baby? How can everybody else coming in here finna go deliver, and here I am walking out of here crying. Y'all telling me I can't drive. Somebody got to come pick me up. Like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, where do I go from this point? And she was just like, is there any way possible you could call somebody to come and get you? We don't want you to drive, and I'm gonna stay in here with you and stuff like that. So it kind of brought me and my sister back together because me and her weren't even talking at the time, and that was the only person that I knew that I could call. And so I called her, and I was just like, my baby passed away. And so she was like, "What? Where are you?" So I'm like, "Oh, I'm at the doctor's office, and they won't let me drive. I need somebody to come get me." So she's like, "I'm on my way." She got there in like 2 seconds. I don't know where she was, but she got there like 2 seconds. And when she came in there, she just like ran to me and just grabbed me and just hugged me, and like we both was crying. But I looked at her and I asked her, like, how could this happen to me? So she started asking the doctors questions, and they was like, basically, we don't know what could have happened until we do an autopsy and stuff like that. So she was just like, the doctor was like, uh, I had to hurry up. Basically, she wanted me to hurry up and deliver the baby because she didn't want me to get no type of infection and stuff like that. And so she said for me to come back that Wednesday. Mind you, my grandma's still in the hospital. And to have to call her and tell her that, it was just like, no, this ain't gonna work out. So we ended up leaving, and I just told them I just need some time to think about it. I don't try to make me go and just have the baby now when I should have been having it when you sent me to have it.
right, right.
So I was just like, I just want to go home. I just need to get out of here. Like, let me go. So she was like, well, can you come back Wednesday and we'll schedule your induction for you to deliver the baby? She was like, you have to hurry up and get him out. We can't keep letting you walk around like this. And I was just like, but how did this happen? Like, I was just feeling him moving on the way here. I went home, he was moving. She was like, oh, that could have been the fluids. And I'm like, what? And so we left. And my sister was like, hell no, we not just going with that. No, 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 no. So we went to the hospital. Do you know, excuse my language, do you know these bitches had the audacity to tell me when I went on the third floor, I went to the window. I walked up to her and I said, I need to like double check. Like, I want a second opinion. I
I
want
need to make sure.
This bitch told me, oh no, it's fine. The doctor's office already called us and told us. We already know. So you know how they have all their little office stuff all decorated in front of the
Right, right,
window?
right, right.
My sister slammed all, like, she took her hand and slammed
Just
all that. And she was like, I don't give a damn. Like, she want to see it, let her see it. So the lady was like, okay, I'm so sorry. I apologize. She was like, let me find a nurse that can give you an ultrasound right away. And I was just like, yeah, like, I need to see this. Like,
like
they didn't let
I
me
need
see
to
it.
make
I
sure.
want to see it. Like, I want to make sure.
Oh yeah.
So another nurse came out and she was just like, I'm so sorry that, you being treated this way. She was like, just come with me and I'll do your ultrasound for you. And she was really sweet. Like, she was really sweet. So when we went to the back, she gave me some Kleenex and she was just like, I just want to let you know, like, it's going to be heartbreaking. And I was like, okay, I mean, how much more broken can I be at this point?
Right.
So she turned the screen around and he was just laying there. Normally you see the little thumb. It was nothing. It was nothing. And at that point I knew, like, it's real at this point. Like, I don't have a baby anymore. And so we waited there and I just was like, I need to leave. Like, I just want to leave. And so
Take your time.
my grandma was upstairs
I love
on
you. I'm so
the
sorry.
fifth floor. And she was basically arguing with them to, like, let her leave to come and check on me. And when I got off the elevator on the fifth floor, she was basically like tussling, with the nurse, like, I need to go check on my granddaughter. And I couldn't do nothing but, like, just stand there and just look at her like she wanted to come check on me, like. And when I ran to her, she was just like, I'm so sorry. But like I told her, it's not nobody's fault. It's not nobody's fault. And at first, when it happened, that whole night, I blamed myself for it because I felt like when they pretty much neglected me and what I was saying about, my doctor told me to come here. This is what I'm supposed to be, like, arguing with them. I should have went to another hospital. But like I was saying, this is my first child. If you the doctor, you know about this, you've been doing this, you experienced with this. So if you tell me one thing, I'm gonna listen to it, and I'm going off of your word, your judgment. And so that night, it was just like, it was really hard for me, and that's when I started feeling all the pain. Right. All the contractions, I started feeling them. And I didn't get no sleep. I didn't sleep at all. I just was up, just up, trying to see, well, maybe I would feel a movement, that's actually real or something like that. They was just like, well, let's just go back to the hospital. Let's just go. And I'm like, it's pointless. For what? And then the next day, we went and scheduled the induction. And it was, I went on the 30th at like 8:30 that night. And while I was there, I just had to give it to him raw and uncut. I don't want no monitor on me. I don't need it. What are you monitoring?
Right.
Just, just let me be here. Let me deal with it, until it's time to go through the whole process. I don't want all y'all coming in here. Just let me deal with it. So my grandma called me and she said a prayer. My sister came. It was just me and Rissy. And neither one of us never dealt with nothing like that.
Right.
So we both sitting there basically just numb. She stayed right there. And It was just like, I don't want to leave you. I don't, every time somebody came in there, like she stood over them and watched everything.
Everything.
Yeah. And I had two of my friends came and they brought flowers and stuff, but they was asking me questions, but like I told him, like, I don't know how to feel about this. Like, this is new to me.
Right.
And the nurses that I had, well, she was really sweet. And I guess it was just a stressful process to have to know, like, I'm finna deliver a baby and it's not going home with me.
Right.
And when they put me in the hospital, it was more depressing, more stressing. I had to tell them, can y'all at least take the sign off the door? It was just like, it was, I don't know, it was a horrible situation. And to the whole delivery, I don't wish that on nobody. I don't wish that pain on nobody. And to lay there and know that they had to break his neck to get him out. A C-section was not given to me as an option.
Mm.
It was horrible. It was a horrible experience. That's why I tell people all the time when they say, "Oh, my labor was hard and it was this and it was that." No, because compared to what I went through, I don't think no labor is worse than that. You steady telling them, I like. First of all, it's gonna be hard for me to be delivering a lifeless baby. A normal delivery, you have help because that baby wants to come out.
Right.
My situation, I didn't have no help. He was just there. So you forcing, you grabbing and you forcing and you pulling on me and you tugging on me. I'm screaming, sound like somebody killing me. Right. And instead of you saying, okay, let's just stop, let's just do a C-section and be done with it. You're going to force me to deliver this baby. I got ripped on the inside and the outside from point A to point B. Couldn't sit up for 2 weeks straight. It was just horrible. Then I go home and my stitches bust. So I got to turn around and go back.
And get restitched.
Yep. And it was just like, it was horrible. I didn't even know when that happens that the police come up there. The police came and just totally invaded my privacy.
So
I hadn't.
What I want to know is, because I want to hear the rest of the story. Why the police? Why did the police have to come?
Because they give you you have to have a report number because they want to make sure that abuse wasn't the cause of death.
Okay.
Alcohol. I didn't sustain no type of injuries and stuff like that. But it's the way that they went about it. I hadn't had that baby 45 minutes. Right after I had got my stitches, my numbness hadn't even went out of my legs. It's a knock on the door. Everybody had to get out the room. I'm still there crying. And a lady cop come in and she was like, I need you to stand in the middle of the floor and put your arms out. You walking around me. I'm like, what happened to the respect? First of all, that, like,
where was the empathy? Where was the?
It was none of that.
I'm so sorry.
It was none of that.
Can we come back at another? Just.
I'll come back tomorrow. None of that.
Right. Let me give you a moment to process all of this. I mean, yeah, but again, there's no timeline when it comes to grief. I had a before I got pregnant with Chase, because again, I want to hear the rest of the story. I want you to share the rest of the story. But I had a missed abortion. So that means the baby died in utero. Like there was no heartbeat. I was supposed to have been 10 weeks and the baby died at 8 weeks. So I had to have a DNC. They had to go in and they had to clean it out because the baby was, and I like you. I was like, no, we got to do another ultrasound. Nope, nope, nope. I know my baby and I did. Nope, nope. And I'm like you, was hoping that maybe somebody got it wrong somewhere. Maybe your machine is broke. But I just
Yeah, it was nothing.
I just
And then she wrote the report, the incident number, and all that, and handed me the paper and walked out. That was it.
and not to take up for the police, but I think when you have to come in and you have to do things like that, especially in regards to infants, you have to somewhat, I
I
guess.
felt like she was. It wasn't like, I understand you really don't know what's going on, but you could tell like her attitude. Not when she walked in, I need everybody to get out.
Right.
Like these people here supporting me. We trying to, you know, uh
They trying to be there for you.
grasp what done happened, and
Right.
stuff like that. But I need everybody to get out. If you're not the patient, you gotta go. So we was all like,
Assholes.
what? Yeah, I'm just trying to do my job so I can leave. It's all on video. It's all on video. It's all on video. And then the nurse that was working in the nursery, I had to get ignorant with her. You got a deceased baby laying in this bassinet, and you gonna take him out in the hallway, not have no type of respect for me, none of that. And you want to take him out and I cover him, none of that.
But
So
why not roll them out in the little
the
bag,
bassinet
the
they
little
put outside the bed.
right.
She was gonna take him to the nursery to do his fingerprints and his footprint, weigh him and clean him up because we were gonna dress him.
Right.
She wanted to just take him like that. Not let me put a blanket over him or anything. None of that. So I told her, matter of fact, don't take him nowhere. Whatever you gotta do, just do it right
Do it
here.
right here. Yeah.
They don't I just don't even want you to even have to deal with him one on one.
Because y'all have shown me no respect
At all.
prior to now. So you don't even have the common the deep, let me say this. You didn't even have the compassion or the empathy to show some type of respect to my son. Okay,
Mhm.
he may not be alive, but this is still my child. And I need you to show him some fucking respect, period.
That's why I tell people that hospital I would never.
I
I would
remember
never.
you telling me this.
I would never. I don't give a damn if I was dying on my last leg. Don't take me there.
Right. So let me ask you because I want to know in that moment. Let me get it together. Let me because I'm when you held your baby. first off, let me tell you that I love you so much. And I'm so sorry you had to go through all of that. Life is so unfair. When you looked at him, what did you say? Because that
Me?
baby looked just like you. Let me first say that. Let me say
Here
that
you go.
baby.
I don't know if y'all can see it, but is it a glass?
Oh, girl.
But
Oh,
yeah, it was not. I mean, the first, I want to say 15 minutes, I couldn't do nothing but just look at him. And I looked at him just to see, like, let me just go back. What really broke me was because in my mind, I had it set to where, okay, I'm going to deliver this baby. They're going to take him instantly. They're going to take him to the NICU and they're going to try to resuscitate him.
right,
I got a possibility that I can get my baby, and there's a possibility that it's just nothing they can do.
right,
But when I got to the end and I heard the nurse say he almost out, and I knew like, okay, I got a chance, I got an opportunity. And she looked at me and she said, when he come out, you want me to put him on your chest or what you want me to do? But then when I heard her say he's stuck, I knew then and there I don't have a chance.
right.
So I asked her, I was just like, don't put him on me, please. Because that's only gonna just mess me up even more.
Right.
So she said, well, we'll just take him and put him in the incubator. So I said, okay. But when she wrapped him and gave him to me, it was more so on like this is it. This is it. So I just sat there and I held him. I was tired. I didn't really just, you know, feel no type of way. I was numb. I didn't know how to feel. I cried being the simple fact that I'm hurt because I have to leave here and I can't take my baby with me.
Right.
Like
It's
this
crazy.
this
I've
this is
gone
all I have.
I've gone this long and I've enjoyed the whole way only to leave with nothing. So in
Yeah.
that moment, you're questioning yourself. In that moment, that's what you're doing.
It was horrible.
So, oof. And here I am, and I'm
Can you give me a minute to go get some tissue?
yeah,
Okay.
go ahead on. So, y'all, this is so heavy and so deep. I just, I remember, like I said, I remember her journey. When she got pregnant, she was posting, and she was so excited, you know, about the baby, and she was like, "Oh, I'm having a boy," and I was so happy for her. And it's like I say, I didn't know what to say to her. You know, it's like, what do you say to somebody that just lost their baby? What do you say without sounding insensitive or cold or callous? It's like, what do you say? You were just absolutely wrong. And again, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's also Mother's Day, the month of May. So every episode for the month of May is going to be something in regards to being a mother. I just want to know your mental state after that.
It
So,
was.
so let me go back just a moment because again I want you to continue. I want you to finish. So you're holding your baby. You're looking at him. You're talking to him because I know you are. I know you're talking to him. You're I love you and everything. I've just got to collectively get my mind together. I because I remember this. I remember this like it was yesterday, and it's been
I just never thought like I would go through something like that. Never. I mean, the whole time I actually, and a lot of people always ask me like, how is that possible? I actually had a wonderful pregnancy. There was never a sad moment. There was never, a bad time. I always had fun. I was always smiling. That was just a happy point in my life, actually. Because before I found out I was pregnant, I was doing all kind of stuff.
right,
I didn't know, but I didn't have a purpose, so I was just doing stuff.
right,
And that when I found out I was pregnant, that slowed me down a lot. A lot of the people that I was hanging with, when I told them, "Hey, I can't do this anymore. I'm pregnant," they went on, and I was fine with that. I chose to make sure that my pregnancy was good. Everything went on with it. So I just was like, okay, bye. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not trying to stick around, and hey, it is what it is. So for that to happen, I'm just like, at that moment, I'm thinking, this is my punishment for all the wrongs that I was doing. This is my fault. It's your fault because of this. It's your fault because of that. And I really, like I was telling you, I made Rissy feel like she was shit.
right.
I made her feel like she was shit.
That was your hurt. That's and I've learned that's a part of grief is the
Yeah.
anger. So you were entitled to have those feelings because you were grieving. Here you are, you just lost your son. Not your baby, you lost your son. So it's I mean, there are different levels to grief, and I know anger is one of them. Um, Losing someone, a child, it's like losing a parent. So I get it. I understand. I totally understand. I lost two babies. So I totally know where you are, where your mental state was in that moment. No, there's no difference in the pain. It hurts the same. Whether you have a miscarriage, a stillbirth, whatever. The pain is the same. So I'm not gonna sit up here and say, "Oh, girl, I know that pain. I felt that pain twice. I get it." And in that moment, you're like, "What the hell did I do? What did I do? What could I have done differently? Did I eat the wrong thing? Maybe I should have drank this on this day." Because now in your mind, you're going back to every day that you were pregnant. Dang, I remember I went to Taco Cabana and I got the nachos with extra jalapenos on it. Maybe I shouldn't have ate that. Now you're questioning yourself. Now you feel like you failed. But I'm here to tell you haven't. And it's been what, 3 years now? Three?
Yeah,
3 years.
three.
Yeah, 3 years. And another thing I want you to know, there's no timeline on grief. And I know you still have those moments. And you're entitled to have those moments. Even 10 years from now, I know you're still gonna have those moments, and that's okay. So don't you let anyone tell you, well, girl, it's been 3 years, or and this, because it was like, and I don't know if this is how you felt, but I know when I got pregnant with Chase, I felt like I was being disrespectful to the two babies that I had lost. Because I felt like, well, maybe my babies feel like I don't care. And here I am, I'm just having another baby, like to forget about them. But I never forget. So I want you to know you grieve as long as you have to. You're still a mom, you're still a mother. I'm still going to recognize you on Sunday. I'm still going to recognize you on Thursday. You're still a mom. You have an angel that went with your auntie. That's where he is. He's with your auntie that left. She's taking care of him. They're
Mhm.
both watching over you. So we move forward. The funeral. Did you ever do an autopsy? Did they ever determine?
Yeah. So, um, we had to. Well, after I had him, we were able to. We pretty much spent the entire night with him. We got to take pictures and stuff. We dressed him, but because that hospital didn't have a morgue, we had to wait on the one in the medical center to come and transfer him.
Right,
So we
right,
pretty much got to spend the night with him and stuff like that, which I really appreciated that part. Um, Afterwards, it was I didn't really have a hard time with the burial part because I mean it did come at a hard time because we had already spent all the money on all this baby stuff and the last minute little things and stuff like that. But my family actually pulled together and some of my friends and we came up with the money. We decided to do a direct cremation because the cost of the funeral would be extremely high.
right.
And like the director explained to me, if you decide to do a service, it's nothing really can be said because nobody really knew the baby.
Right.
It'll be different versus a 2-year old, a 3-year old, 6 months, where
I
you can
still
stand
believe
up
you could have
and
said something. I still believe, you could have said, I don't know.
he was basically looking at the cost of it.
Oh, okay, okay.
And by us having to, set up the GoFundMe and stuff like that, he was really just trying to look at, as far as like the financial side of it, which was understandable. And he did actually go out his way. Normally he would have charged for it, but in my case, he did dress him and balm him and stuff like that and let me see him one last time.
Right. Oh,
Before the cremation, me and Reese were able to go and we saw him one last time and that was it. It wasn't a long time, but I got to, see him from the time they came and got him from the hospital. And
Right.
then,
Up
and he
until
also explained to me, he's not gonna look the same either. But he said I try my best to make it presentable because his skin had peeled and stuff like that, and that same color, it wasn't. And the only image that I do have is the one from when he let me see it. And I told him, I was like, well, I appreciate you for, caring enough to know like this is gonna be the last time I see my child.
right.
And he was just like, this the first baby I've ever had to deal with, because when we called him, he thought he was like a one or two. He didn't know he was going to pick up a newborn. So he had got the casket and stuff prepared for an
A bigger child.
older baby. And when they called him and told him, no, it's a newborn. He said, well, I can't do that like that. I can't just, take this baby from the morgue and then just, what happens for at a cremation. He was just like, I can't do that like that. I gotta, and I have it in my heart, to fix this baby up and let the mama, the people see them one last time. My grandmother didn't want to see it because she had already went through that with her sisters. So I completely understood. And that's just something I wanted. I didn't ask nobody else if, hey, y'all want to go with me. This is for us, So
And you
I
needed that closure. I think that was the closure for you. I think that was the acceptance part for you.
that was I feel like that was the first part of my me grieving with it.
Okay. Okay.
That was the first part because when I went home, I had to after the hospital. I made them let me go home. It was very depressing. It was horrible to lay there the next day. Your baby gone. You hearing all these babies around you crying. The mamas is crying. I just couldn't deal with it. I went home. My blood pressure was sky high. My legs were still numb. They wanted to keep me overnight, and I just refused. Please, if you
I
don't
just
take this IV out, I'm gonna take it out, and I got to go. The going home part was the hardest. I don't want you to roll me in a wheelchair. None of that. Just let me walk out of here like a normal person. And I did. The nurse was like, "Well, I just walk downstairs with you. That's fine, but I'm not. I don't want to be in a wheelchair. I don't want none of that." On the way home, I was fine. I didn't cry. I just sat there. When I got home and walked in that room, is where it all came.
you were numb. You were in
And
shock. Shock.
yeah,
You were in shock.
and it hurted the most. The neighbors and everybody that was there at the gender reveal we had and stuff like that. When they saw the car pull up, they all came to the car. Where the baby? Where the baby? There's no baby. I don't have a baby.
And here it
Nobody
comes
really,
again.
yeah, nobody didn't know what happened until I felt comfortable and I said, well, now I feel like after a couple of weeks went by, I feel like I don't have to go into detail, but I can let you know what happened.
Yeah. Just the baby passed away. And
That's
just
all you got.
right. I don't want to sit and explain to you because here it is 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a week later, I'm still having to deal with this. My
Mhm.
body is going through these changes and I'm still left without my son. And you know, a girl I went to school with, same thing happened to her. Her baby passed and she delivered a stillborn. And she said, Ashley, she said, I don't even know how I could go back to work. She said, because everybody has saw me through my pregnancy. And then here comes the questions. Where the pictures? Where the baby at? Girl, I want to see. And then it's like you
It bring you back to that all over again.
here you go, and you have to relive that day, or you have to relive those moments after, or the moments that led up to it, and you're like, I can't do this. But you can't shut yourself out from the world either. Because at some point we gotta come out, and we have, it's like, when my dad passed, um I still sit in my house. I don't open the blind. I didn't open the blinds. Like, you feel safe, and I
My
only came
whole
out. Go ahead.
the whole appearance changed. What I look like now, I didn't look nothing like myself. I lost so much weight. I My hair started coming out. I started pulling it out. It was just and my grandma, me and my grandma like this. Like, that we are really close.
Very,
And like she told me, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to give you, but I'm gonna be here for you.
and that's
And
the
that
best.
woman did everything in her power to make me feel comfortable, to try to help me get back to myself, even though I just went through that. You know, Me and my sister wasn't talking, but I guarantee you, she never left that house. When I got home, she never left.
And that's what
Anything I
you do.
needed, she got up and she would have got. And I couldn't do nothing but thank them. That's all I could do.
Right.
I told her, I said, it got to the point where she didn't want to leave me. She started sleeping on the floor in my room. And I told her, I said, you can get in the bed and you don't have to sleep on the floor. She said, no, I'm fine right here, as long as I know you okay.
Right. Because she
But
needs to be, when you get up, like if you move, she needs to. You get what
be
I'm saying?
able to see, yeah. And it was just, people came by, my grandma friends came by, but it was just like, I'm still not here. I'm here, but I'm not here.
Right.
You know. And it took 3 months after that for me to start back eating, for me to come out the room, all of that. I just wasn't. It wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me. And then the day he called to come and get his ashes, it took me back all over again. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? He not here in his spirit, but this is it. This is him here.
Right.
So I kept those ashes for a year. And I decided, I said, well, you know, in my heart, this will be my closure to bury the ashes. Because this is what I originally wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But because the funds wasn't right, and the man talked to me and stuff like that, we agreed on the cremation. I still have some of his ashes, but
Right.
majority of them I buried them, and that also helped with me grieving and accepting it. Because before then, I would wake up out my sleep, screaming and hollering and crying, blaming myself. It's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. I should have went and got another opinion. I should have went here. I should have went there. You should have took me here.
Right.
It took me a long time to stop that.
Stop blaming yourself. The guilt. That's
And,
grief.
and
That's
to
the
just
grief
accept
process.
it, just to accept it, it took a long time too. I
It
tried to do the
definitely.
whole support groups and stuff like that, but I just felt like it wasn't for me, somebody my age, just experiencing it. It was more, the support groups were more for older people who had done lost their babies and had more babies and stuff
Mm.
like that. And I just felt like, no, this not for me. I actually walked out of one session
Oh, I
because I
remember
feel
that.
like you're not helping me. You talking about what's going on that didn't happen back in 1992.
Right.
Here I am today. These are 30, 40, 50-year-old women.
that are still talking about. But like I say, there's no timeline on grief. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna
And I
always
had to
have
learn that.
regret.
I had to learn that. I had to learn. And I told my grandma, I feel like I should be over it now. For his first birthday, I told her that. I should be over it now. I should be fine. I should still be walking around here crying. And that woman sat me down and had a long, long, long talk with me.
Yeah,
And she said, no, that wasn't your sister's child. That wasn't your cousin's child. That was a child you had. That was a child you had.
mm,
A child that grew inside of you.
that you carried.
And
So
she said,
no,
just because other people don't know how I feel, don't mean you supposed to, listen to them and go off their experiences. Everybody is different. And I went in there and I cried. I cried all night because I felt like you're an evil person. I really feel like I was evil for me to say I should be over it by now.
you hadn't fully processed it. What you did, boo. You suppressed it because that was not something you wanted to keep dealing with. You felt like why he's
I
gone.
rushed it. I feel like I rushed it because I was ready to get back to myself. I wasn't really,
Mm,
in the right state of mind anyway.
right, right, right.
And I was ready to get back. Oh, I want to go to
You
work.
just
I want
wanted
to
life to be
get back
normal.
yeah, back to my normal life and just get through this. But that wasn't the case. And like she said, it's gonna sit you down. It's gonna make you realize, and it's gonna open you up. If it takes for you to cry all week, it's gonna happen.
And you
It's
can't
gonna
stop it.
happen. That's exactly what happened.
You can't stop it.
That's
You're gonna
exactly
hear a
what happened.
song. You're gonna see something on TV. You could just be sitting, and me and you could be talking on the phone, and
It was happening.
you just have a flashback, and here it comes, and it takes you back 3 years ago.
And
You're never
I
gonna
try my
forget it.
best. I try my best to like shake it, run from it,
No,
not let it take over. But you know what really broke me? The day the cemetery called, because we had to pay on his headstone. After his first birthday, when we buried the ashes, we
right,
started paying on the headstone. The cemetery called before his second birthday. And the man said, your plot gonna be laid today. I said, okay. Risha said, let's go so we can watch them lay it. No, we'll see it when we go out there to do the balloon release and stuff like that. It's fine. She said, no, let's go. So I said, no, I don't want to go out there and watch that. I don't want to. So a couple of hours went by and she was like, you want to go get something to eat? I was like, yeah, that's fine. Detoured and went right to that cemetery.
right where you needed to be.
And when I say it broke me, it broke me. I had never.
It became real, real. Now it's real, real. It was real in the beginning, but now what can you do now?
Yep. When I say it broke me, it broke me.
So here we are, fast forward 3 years later. How are you now? Honestly.
I um I don't really have the crying moments because when I feel like I'm having a hard time, I drive right to that cemetery. And I sit there, and whatever's bothering me, I talk. And I tell a lot of people, yeah, to go back and, talk about what happened. It's still, not really hurt, but it's a sad story. And it sometimes I feel like it's a sensitive spot for me. Majority of the time I don't, try to I tell my story to help other people because I have helped a lot of other girls. Like I told you, once it happened to me, I saw it every day. Every day. It was getting closer to me. It was happening every day. So I figured I can deal with grieving better by talking about it. The more I hold it in, and you know me, I like to talk. I can
Yes.
talk. So I
And
use that to, help me get through it. And I also, every day, I woke up and I felt like I wanted to be depressed about it and I wanted to be sad about it. I got down and I prayed and I asked God, just give me the strength to get through it. That was something I said every day. I mean, I still, I miss my child. That's, that ain't gonna go away. And I sit and like around holidays and stuff, I don't really be up to it. But I know I can't just sit around and, be sad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell myself, God had other plans for me. Just because I wanted it right then and there, you know what I'm saying? He didn't, he felt like I wasn't ready for it.
right.
Like I always tell people, before I got pregnant, baby, my life it was hell.
Right.
It was hell. I was headed down the road of destruction. I'm doing shit I ain't had no business doing.
Oh, I know.
And he sat me down to make me stop, realize, and think about what you're doing. And then we're gonna go on and go through this so we can, grow you up like you need to be.
Right. Because see,
This was a
you're
wake up call.
grown.
I take it as a wake up call.
And then the more you talk about it, the easier it is for you to cope. The easier it is for you to deal with because there are so many women just like you, so many women just like me that share the same story and don't know how to deal. So, you coming on here tonight, I wanted you to be the advocate and be the voice for a woman that has gone through it or is going through it and doesn't know what to do. Every day will get easier.
Hmm.
Every day will.
You just you just have to take it one day at a time. Don't
Right.
don't don't do like I did in the beginning and try to rush it because of what somebody else said.
Right.
Like I tell people all the time, I even had to talk to my auntie, and she 40 something years old. But when it happened to her, I had to let her know. Just because your friends going on about their life, that don't be you. You bury your baby and you go on. No, because it's gonna tear you up. When it come back, it's gonna tear you up.
It's just
It's gonna tear you
almost
up,
like a
and it's a
feeling,
feeling that you don't wish upon your worst enemy.
baby. It's like you are, it's an undescribable pain. It's like a, you know how when you get food stuck in your throat and it don't matter, it's almost like it don't matter how much water you drink to try to get it to
Mhm.
it, it's like it just don't move. That's grief. You just learn how to cope.
Yep.
And that's what I'm learning, um, I'm learning. It's how to cope. But I say this to you. Again, you don't allow anybody. Let me go back. Miss Angela says it's been 11 years for her next month, and she still grieves the loss of her son. She said, you take your time on your time. So I don't celebrate Mother's Day because I'm a mama 365, 366 if it's leap year. So Mother's Day is nothing for me. I don't like holidays. Birthdays is just a. So while all the other women are out with their moms or whatever, I want you to always and still remember you're still a mother. You were Jay's mom. Not was or were, but you are. So I want you to still continue to talk about it. Even though you only had him for a few days, you're still a mom. You're still a mother. You still get up. You still celebrate him. You still talk about him. You still have your moments. If you need to cuss and you need to, whatever you need to fucking do, you do that. Don't suppress it because it will eat you up on the inside. Remember what we talked about the other day? Don't feel bad when that happens again. You get what I'm saying? When you know what we talked about. Because it's not you forgetting Jay. You're not gonna ever forget him. You're still gonna have your what if moments. I wonder what he would be doing right now. He 3. I know he would be still talk about him like he's still here because he's still here. Maybe not in body, but in spirit. He sees you. He looks, he's like, oh, look at my mama. My mama fussing again today. That's still your baby. Go out there to that cemetery. Go talk to him. Tell him what your dreams were for him. I wanted you, I just knew you were gonna be a football player or something. He's still here. He's still here. Your son, he running. Girl, he probably tearing some shit down right now. And I'm popping his hand. Sit down, leave that alone. Get down. Stop. Get over here and sit down. And that's how we gonna celebrate it. 10 years from now, when he would have been 13, you're gonna be like, girl, let me tell you what Jay would have been doing, girl. I probably would have had to go to the school and get him, girl. He probably would have been up there fighting, talking back to somebody. Girl, he probably would have been a straight A student. Still talk about it, still celebrate him. One of the things that I'm learning in regards to dealing with grief, the mind knows, the heart knows, but the mind is what has the hardest time accepting it. It's almost like this ain't real, this a dream. I'm gonna wake up and you push through. So I still celebrate. I look back and I'm like, man, my baby would have been 17, 16. My other baby would have been 13. And then here I got Chase, 11. So I do think about the what ifs. I absolutely do. And it's okay. It's okay. Break down if you need to. Cry. Write. Get back in those support groups. If that's what you need to do to help you along on your healing process, you do that. You don't let nobody tell you anything differently. And you hold on to every moment every heartbeat you heard, every ultrasound picture, every kick, every pain. You carry that with you. You hold on to that. And find a better doctor. Because I'm ready to slap the out of her. I am. I mean, please go and Lord. But so let me go right here because we've already talked about your recovery. Because you're still in recovery. You're still in recovery. So yeah, today you're still a mom. Sunday you'll be a mom. Tuesday you'll still be a mom. Wear that shirt, loud and proud. Go out there and say, "Mommy, love you. I know you up there acting up. You better be nice. You better be good. And if you gotta have a cry that day, cry that day. If you don't want to be bothered that whole day, you entitled to that. If you don't want to go eat and go party and whatever with everybody else, you're entitled to do that. You do whatever you have to do to keep recovering. Because it's a process. And no, you not gonna it's not gonna that pain not gonna never go away. You just learn how to cope. You just learn how to deal. And if you're having fun, that don't mean you forgot about your baby. So yeah, you're entitled to have some fun. I see you on Snapchat, smiling, laughing. That don't mean you forgot about your baby. You have your fun. You still got to keep going. You still have to live your life. It's people here that still need you. Your destiny has not yet been fulfilled. So your recovery after your stillbirth, you right. Get back, and I stress it enough. Get into therapy. Get back if you don't feel comfortable in those support groups, find a therapist that you can unpack and unload your pain. Write down how you feel from day to day. If you woke up today and today was a good day, right? You had a good day. Man, I woke up, man. God gave me another day on earth. I had a good day. I did this, I did that. And even on the days that you have a bad day, right? And just say, man, I woke up today with Jay on my mind. Me and my baby, we probably be at Herman Park on Sunday. Or we probably be at McGregor. We probably be at a barbecue somewhere. Write that down. So when you look at it 5 years later, or even 6 months later, you can see your growth and where you've gone in those 6 months. It doesn't hurt as much. I still dream about him. I still hear his voice. I still, imagine what he sound like crying. I can hear him crying. Write that down. Do whatever it is you have to do. That's your recovery. You do what is going to help you. Like I say, if you don't feel comfortable in a support group, do one-on-one therapy. Because you have to unpack. You can't carry that luggage with you. You have to unpack those suitcases. Because if you hold on to that part, how you gonna give love to your new baby? You gotta think about that. You gotta be able to give love to your new baby. No, it's not gonna be Jay. And I think that's a part that you struggle with. I think that's why you're prolonging the process. And then fear. That's okay. Be afraid. I was scared. I even went and bought a heart monitor, one of them little fetal monitors, because Chase wasn't active. She wasn't an active baby. But whatever God has for you, He's going to give to you. You have to be ready to receive it. Because the new baby's going to need love too. That new baby's going to need love too. And mama's got to heal. But it's not you forgetting about Jay. It's not. So you remember that. You remember that. You pray on it. You write about it. You write about it. Jay will always be there. And then when the new baby comes and the new baby gets older, you talk to your new son about his brother. Or you talk to your daughter about her brother. That's what you do. Even though it was just a short amount of time, you tell him or you tell her, man, boy, with your brother, boy, I had heartburn, I had indigestion. Remember the good times. Because like you say, your pregnancy wasn't bad. And that's what Jay wants you to do. He wants your mama to keep going, keep moving. That's what he wants. So that's your recovery after a stillbirth. It's okay. So I'm going to let you go ahead and round it out. So I have one more question. What did they tell you were the ways to reduce the risk of a stillbirth? What did they say caused your stillbirth, your baby to pass?
When the autopsy came back, it was because his blood glucose was high, meaning that I had gestational diabetes during my pregnancy, and it was overlooked and it went untreated. And the sugar got into his bloodstream and went to his heart, and it was too strong for his heart.
You okay, Mama?
Yeah.
I walked over there. Why you sitting here? You like it like that?
No.
Yeah.
I wanna
But I'm saying.
Oh, he gonna cut the light on.
That's fine.
Okay. I'm like, she like it like that? What the hell are you doing?
Oh well, I mean you can still see me. Yeah.
I said, is she in the? How the hell is she? See, that's why I didn't take the jobs on the screen, so it messed with my eyes too long. I can't sit there. And then you're in a dog? No. I've been quit a long time ago. And then you got the glass on too? Ooh, my I be crying. I be upset. You think I'm crying? Because my eye like.
Oh, they be burning?
No, because it's the strain that dark and then that screen. It don't mix. I'm saying, why is she sitting there, damn dog? You could have pulled the screen, or
I wasn't even thinking. When I started, it was still daylight outside.
And when I walked in here and why is she sitting in the damn dog? I didn't say it loud. It was in my mind. I hate to interrupt. Excuse me for that. But I'm just looking like, what the hell is she doing? It hurt my eyes just even thinking about it. You still from the store? Soda or something?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Thank you. But they said that it had the sugar got in his bloodstream, and it was too strong for his heart. So that's what caused his heart to stop. But like after when I went to my postpartum visit, and the doctor talked to me about it, she was saying that he could have been saved. All of this could have been prevented had they just done what she said do. He probably would have had to go to the NICU for a couple of hours, or a day or two. But once they got his sugar levels down, then he would have been good.
Right.
And that would have been something, that his pediatrician probably would have had to look for and, treat and stuff like that. But by me having it, it could have been hereditary, but 9 times out of 10, it wouldn't have. It
Right.
would have been
Right.
just like, a one time thing, and then, you find after that.
Yeah, because typically with gestational diabetes, it goes away after you deliver, after
Yeah.
after you give birth to your baby.
And
Um,
after that, after my 6 weeks, I took another glucose test. And instead, I didn't do a 1 hour test, I did a 2 hour test.
right.
And I still had no diabetes. We didn't find out I was a diabetic until 2 years later,
Damn.
when I got sick at work and I had to go to the emergency room from work. And that's how we found out. So, like she said, it could have been, all this could have been prevented had they done what was told. And she was so mad. Like she told me, out of my whole 38 years of practice, I have never had one of my babies to go out like this.
Right.
It was either you deliver, we resuscitate, or you deliver, we take straight to the NICU, and the babies are fine. This is the first.
For her to lose a baby. Damn.
And on behalf of me, that whole staff is gone.
And they should have been.
The lady who was in the when I went that day that sent me home, she had to deliver my baby. Was I nice? No. Was I cooperative? No. Did I give her hell? Yeah.
Yep.
Did I make her feel uncomfortable? Yeah. Did my family make her feel uncomfortable? Yeah. And you know what she did? She quit.
And she
But
shouldn't have.
like I told them, it doesn't matter. In this lawsuit, I'm not doing it because the money, I want money. You cost me. Yeah, you did cost me. You cost me my child.
And there's no price tag on that.
I can't get that back.
Right.
He's not coming back. So I'm gonna cost you your career. I don't care about you quitting. You signed his death certificate. You signed his what is it called? The little card they give you. I can't
The
even think right now. His
the
birth facts.
yeah, that's it. The little card that they put on there, like boy, link, the height, the weight, all the yeah.
You signed it. Your license number is on it. It's on his death certificate. And like the doctor told me, it don't matter where she go. As long as you got that license number, that's all you need.
Right. Because it doesn't change. It doesn't change.
So, I mean, it's just the thought of it.
Right.
And like she said too, instead of them by my BMI being high, they should automatically off top think, do a 1 hour test on somebody with a high BMI. You don't do that. You need a 2 hour one so that it'll go further into it and you can actually see if the sugar levels are high. A 1 hour one, it's not gonna be high because it's too soon that you
Right.
get results back. It ain't settled in or nothing.
But I'm surprised, because I know because diabetes runs on both sides of my family. So mine was the two. I had to do the 2 hour, and
Hmm.
then they did the 4 hour or something like that. Because I had to take
It's
it
a
home.
1 hour one, a 2 hour one, and then a 4 hour one.
Yeah, because I had to take it home Cause they asked me what flavor I want. I said, give me the orange, because it tastes like
Mhm.
orange Fanta. So I took it home and I had to drink. I had to get up because I had to drink it at 8 o'clock. No, 7 o'clock in the morning, because my appointment was at 11. No, wait. Either way it goes, I had to do it twice because I had
Mhm.
to, the two. I did it at 16 weeks, and then I did it again. I think it like 20 weeks or something like that, because I had to have an amniocentesis with my son. Uh, where they put the needle that's like this
In
long.
your navel.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I that boy there just, girl, he gets on my last nerve. So now we roll to the end of the show. We're in our final thoughts. So let me say this. Again, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mother's Day is Sunday. Again, these are topics that we have to address. Stillbirths, miscarriages, infertility, it all affects your mental health. Anytime if you're pregnant and you're having issues, and if one doctor doesn't see you, go to another one. These doctors don't care. They just, especially if you don't have insurance, if you're on Medicaid, whatever, you're really not going to get the proper care you need. And I'm speaking from experience. Especially, pregnancy, even after you deliver your baby and it goes to the pediatricians, they don't care. But stillbirth is real. We rank 43% higher than white women when it comes to infant mortality, infant and maternal mortality. So we're having more black women die in childbirth. We're having more babies die in childbirth, black women. So look for other resources. Search other avenues, whatever it is you have to do to save your baby's life. Nicole went through a lot. And right now, she cannot speak any further because it is a pending lawsuit. So no, she did not reveal the names of nurses or nurses assistants or CNAs or what is MAs, due to the pending legal action that's going on. So I want to say thank you for you coming on and sharing your story tonight. I think this
You're
is absolutely,
welcome.
I think this is absolutely something that we needed. Um, you're the voice for someone else that's has gone through it or is currently going through it. There's no timeline on the grief. So I want you to know that there is no timeline on grief. You take all the time you need. All the time you need. And before I turn it over to her, don't forget, y'all, every Tuesday, every Thursday night, Black Girl Interrupted goes live 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Y'all know you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I am available on all the streaming platforms. Subscribe to your girl on YouTube. Run them subscribes up. Come on, let your girl help your girl get monetized. You know. But don't forget Sunday is Mother's Day, so you guys know I'm doing my Mother's Day special. So don't forget to get your pictures in. Please have them into me. What's today? Thursday. Please have them into me by Saturday at 12 noon so I can go ahead and get the collage together, because I want to shout out some amazing moms. I want to let you know that I love you. I want to let you know that you are appreciated. And I want to let you know that everything you do in the world does not go unrecognized, especially by me. So don't forget, I will share the post again. Black Girl Interrupted 1, the number one at gmail.com is the email where I would like for you to email those pictures. If you want to send them to me in my DM, that's fine. But I really prefer for you to send them to me in an email so I can save them and I can just upload them and go ahead and create the collage. So Nicole, I'm gonna let you go ahead and end the show. What are your final thoughts for tonight?
Um, as far as what the whole or
What do
just
you want to say?
advice.
What do you want to say to a woman that has experienced what you have gone through? What do you want to say to her? What do you want to tell her?
Um, just I would just say uh, um, just try not to let yourself stay in that dark place forever. You know, if you got a strong support system, let them know that they appreciate it. So, they don't feel unappreciated, because you could be upset one day and they try to come around and help you and you take it out on them. Just, try to be strong. And like I tell people all the time, say this one prayer, and I promise you it's gonna get you through. Just ask God to give you the strength to get through this situation, and I promise you He gonna walk with you every step of the way.
Hmm.
Every step of the way. And if you ain't never been strong before, it's gonna help you become strong.
Baby, you better say that. So again, I do want to say thank you for coming on Black Girl Interrupted tonight. I absolutely, absolutely enjoyed the conversation. I absolutely commend you for having the strength to come on here and share your story and be vulnerable with the world. Let people know this is what it looks like, man. It's real. It
Yeah.
happened to her. It could happen to anybody. So don't
And
forget,
that's
y'all.
the thing when it happened to me, like I didn't know that people go through stuff like that. Like I didn't even know that was real. Like you see it on movies and stuff, but I ain't never think it happened in real life until it happened to me. And like days later, I got on social media and I started seeing it like every day, every day. And I was just like, this stuff is real. This is real. And I just was like, yeah, it's time for me to get up and I gotta get with the program.
You got the
I
move.
gotta get with the program. Like and that whole situation, it really it made me who I am
Strong.
because I was childish, didn't care about nothing. My answer to everything was let's fight. That was just my solution for everything. I just want to fight.
And
And
you
after
couldn't
that
fight.
happened, I like my whole mentality, my whole mind frame just changed
Right. Well, I'm proud
drastically.
of you.
Not a little bit, drastically. And
But
it
I'm
was just
so
I
glad.
had to get prepared for it. People gonna use your situation against you. They gonna say, "Look, you got to put it in your mind and in your heart." I'm not gonna fall into that. That's what they want me to do.
Right. But I'm proud of you.
Yep.
I constantly will keep you in prayer. And you already know if you need me, I'm a phone call away. You know that. If you just need to
Yeah.
talk, if you just need to cry, whatever it is you need to do, you already know my number. Hit that phone right now. Hit it. Hit that number and we can talk, we can laugh, we can cry, whatever it is we need to do. Because we be on the phone 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours if we need to be. You know, if I need to put something together over here and cook and you and Reese come over here or whatever, we need to get some people together and we need to just have a sisterhood moment. let's do it. Whatever it is we got to do to keep you going.
Yeah.
So, on that note, again, I love y'all. I will see y'all Sunday, 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time for Black Girl Interrupted's first annual Mother's Day special. Don't forget, every Tuesday, y'all, every Thursday, subscribe to me. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all the streaming platforms. So, again, y'all, show my girl Nicole some love. Um, I definitely, again, I appreciate you for being on here tonight. And I love y'all. Thank y'all for all the love, the support. Thank y'all for everybody that tuned in, everybody that commented, everybody that sent some love. You're definitely appreciated. And I will see y'all Sunday at 4 o'clock. So, love y'all. Holla. Get the hell on. Don't forget, y'all, wash your hands and wash your ass, y'all, because COVID is still real. Shit. Y'all got to remember. And stay the hell away from me.